Good morning, everybody. I thought I'd check in. It's been a while. I'm trying to get up and around and do things, and I've got a load to go to the transfer station, to the dump, so I'm very pleased about that. The neighbor's down there, the neighbor with the shooting range. I am not at all opposed to shooting ranges, not at all. But this guy put his shooting range across a public walking fire road kind of emergency path, because there's only one way up here, and that's the road down that end of things, right? So down that end of things there's what I used to call fire roads, ATV emergency path. Our volunteer fire folks could get up there if we had a brush fire up here. Anyway, he bought 2 lots. Ugh, he's so annoying. He bought 2 lots and put his firing range somewhat parallel to the road and across this path. And I say somewhat parallel to the road because the road curves, goes up a hill and curves, so you end up down range of his. Anyway, so annoying. He makes me so angry. Anyway, so I'm headed to the dump. I want to get some things done, like this crepe myrtle. Its roots ended up close to the surface, and I don't want it to freeze and die. And so I want to put some mulch. I'm thinking about if I can clean the leaves out of my gutter, I'll put the leaves there. We'll see. Anyway, hold on a second. I did not at all prepare for a video. I just threw my hair up in a ponytail. Of course, that's usual. But I've got my go to the dump and do chores clothes on. I'm on break. Our kids at work have holiday breaks similar to public schools, but not quite. So I've been on break, and the first part of my break, I did not leave the house for the day before Christmas Eve, I believe. And this is Friday. I'll have to put the date up. I don't know what date it is. I don't know if I was still sick from the germy sicks I had, or if I had a flare-up from whatever I had, or if it was just the rainy weather. That's not the most... I don't know about lighting here. I was so exhausted that I did not leave my bed. Of course, we had rain, cold, thick fog, cold rain for days. And I didn't leave my bed. I just crocheted. So the good thing about it is I crocheted and I read books. I read 4.5 books. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. And I puttered around inside the house a little bit, but I was so fatigued. I guess I was, without having to go to work, I just guess I kind of crashed and burned. And then yesterday we finally had sunshine. And today, you can see, today is a beautiful day, sunny, and I don't know when the rain is coming back. So while I had all these grandiose plans about getting things done over my break, I don't have to go back until January 2nd. I had all these grandiose plans, and I haven't done, I just started to do them yesterday. So yesterday I went and got a larger chainsaw, because my gas-powered Husky is 12 or 14-inch blade. I think 14-inch blade. And I've been cutting bar. They're called bars, aren't they? 14-inch bar. I've been cutting small firewood deadfall, because there's plenty of deadfall in my woods. But there's a lot. I have enough firewood deadfall probably for my lifetime down there. But it's a steep hill, and I was getting to the bigger trunks. So I went and got a larger chainsaw, a Stihl. Love my Husky, but a lot of people have been recommending Stihls. Stihl was down here a couple towns over at a local town, and I didn't have to drive clear up to civilization. So I got a chainsaw, so I bucked firewood. I tried to split some with a maul. I split some with the splitter, the little splitter that my son got me. So that was amazing. I got a lot done yesterday. Oh, I'm sore. You cannot lay in bed for days upon days and then get up and do work and not be sore. Oh. So anyway, so today I'm going to putter around, and this may or may not turn into a video, depends how much I get done. Oh, I fetched water yesterday. I was behind on my water fetching. I did that yesterday too. I went to the post office, that kind of stuff. So today I plan on puttering around here. I had hoped to do some deer hunting. Our deer hunting season, with all the people coming up for the weekends for opening day and all that, has cut way back, but season still goes till December 31st for me for archery. I don't know about for gun, although I should get out there. Maybe this guy's gonna scare all the deer into my yard. I don't know if you can hear all that or not. So I've still got some time, a couple days to do deer hunting. Don't know if I'll get out there or not, because I'd really like to, with this nice weather, I'd like to do these practical things for the house. Well, getting a deer for the freezer is practical too, but I haven't been successful yet. So is it the best use of my time compared to getting firewood? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I wanted to say hi. This may or may not be a video. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've been using some of my break to try to catch up with channels. It is so hard to watch you all the time with my limited time going to work, but I miss watching you guys, so I've tried to catch up a little bit. Now I'm just rambling like I always do. So I'm going to head out and get the day started and see if I can have enough before and after, or can take you along on some of the things I do. I don't know. But I'm still alive. I'm here. And more later maybe. I forgot. I should have filmed the transfer station, because it's so easy to dump off your trash here compared to Baltimore County dump. When you go there, oh, it's hard when you go there. So here you just stop and get weighed, and then you just come up this little road, and you you go up to that little building, you back up, you take your turn, and dump your stuff in there. So much easier than when I went to Baltimore County dump to help sometimes with a load. And you just come down here to the scale. And I've been thinking about talking about some of these budgeting things, and then I just never do. Because you might say, oh, Miss Dawn, I can't live my dreams because I'm trying not to film this guy. You have more money than I do. No, I don't. So here's the scale. You just pull down here and get weighed. And I pay $10 to drop off a whole load of junk. So I've been wanting to do a video about budgeting, because I don't want people to think that they can't reach their dream because they don't have as much money as I do. I've lived most of my life with very little money, no extra money, check to check. Now things are going slightly better now, because we're so short-staffed. I'm kind of doing 1.5 jobs, and they gave me a tiny little bump and raise, kind of a bonus for that. But budgeting, it's all about what you choose to pay. Instead of paying $70, well, since the gas prices have gone up, it's more than that. Last time I checked, trash service at my place was $77 for every 3 months. On social media, I heard that people complaining because with the gas prices and the bad economy right now and all of that. Hold on. Okay, let's try this again. With the bad economy and all that, the gas, they added gas fees or whatever to the trash. So it's over $77 for every 3 months. The load I just brought cost me $10. If I do $10 a month, which I don't always, in the wintertime I go about 6 weeks. I don't know, I'd have to look back. I don't know when's the last time I went. But if I go once a month, it's $30 for 3 months, right? Instead of paying over $77. Here's the scenic train, the Potomac Eagle scenic train. Someday I'll go on this. Just haven't cared to pay for the ticket yet. But someday I'll go on that. Anyway, so while I just shelled out money, yes, for a chainsaw, there's a lot of ways that I cut corners. And so I just want you to know, if you figure out where you can cut corners, what is your priority and what's not, and what you can. It's not comfortable. Like, is it easier having trash people come up and pick up my trash? Yes. Is it work, and does it take time usually out of my weekend or my after work hours? This takes time and energy. Is it worth it to then say, okay, because I did this, I saved enough money to buy a chainsaw? Yes, it's worth it. So, more rambling to say, you can figure out a way to budget and reach your dream. You know, you can't have all the luxuries and well, you can. Some people can. What am I saying? Some people can have all the luxuries and still pay money on their dreams. Yes, but I'm talking about people that don't have extra money. Yes, you can still find ways to scrimp and save. Now, it might take until you're 50 something to get to your dream, but you can do it. Okay, I'm going to shut it off because I'm coming into the town of Romney and I don't want to get caught with a handheld device or driving dangerous. Oh man, I'm so excited about my pine tree. I dug this little teeny tiny pine tree start up one time, and we were we just four-wheeling? I can't remember. Camping, something. And it didn't do well because the deer kept eating the top off of it. So this year I put this square tomato cage around it with chicken wire. I just had chicken wire on it before, and they just bent it down and ate the tops. You can see the one little tip. Oh no, my shadow, you can't see. So the deer were just eating the tips off of it. So now I've mostly got it surrounded in chicken wire, and it's doing great. I'm excited. This green giant thuja plant, planted a couple years ago, and when I was only camping up here, and it almost died because I planted it, and then I didn't come camping up here as often, and there was like a drought, not a drought, but you know, lack of rain. I didn't think it would live, but it's doing well. So the neighbors have a wonderful pine tree stand, and I have always wanted to have kind of mimic it over here. So I am pleased that that little guy is doing well, especially after I changed the anti-deer cage. Anyway, so I'm back home, and I'm headed down here, and I'm going to see if I can cut a little more. That neighbor, I went to the dump, the transfer station, that neighbor's still down there shooting on his range. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to see if I can cut a little bit of wood. So I've got my little wagon and my new Stihl chainsaw. I got my friend, my BFF highly recommended the Boss. The Wood Boss. And so I got, this is the good part. So I got one similar. The Wood Boss is a 251 model. So this is not the Wood Boss, but it's a 251 18-inch bar. The exciting part is this. I don't know if you can see it. Chainsaws pull really hard, and you know I have issues, so many issues, so it's hard for me to start a chainsaw a lot of times. This, you don't yank on this super hard like you do a lawnmower or chainsaw. It's got some kind of extra easy start apparatus in there. Made the chainsaw about $50, was it? 40, $50 more expensive. Makes it half a pound heavier, but you just barely pull this, and when you get to the end, it kind of not starts itself. You don't jerk hard on this. Maybe I'll figure out if I can set up my camera and show you. Anyway, so if you have problems starting a chainsaw, look into the Still, and I don't know if other brands have it also, but it's like an easy start mechanism, and you can tell because that's not flat. It kind of sticks out a little bit. So somehow, when you pull, whoops, you get to, it pulls, and you get kind of to the end, and something in here flips over. It makes it much easier to start. Oh my gosh, it's so much easier to start for me. Okay, I'm just yammering. I could be down there doing something productive. I'm so sore from yesterday, though. We'll see how far I get. Okay, I'm going to put my little wagon down there. I'm going to put this on a faster speed. Hopefully I don't make you dizzy. I don't know if I'll cut this out of here or just make it a faster speed. Okay, huge amount of deadfall. I'm right next to the property line with my neighbor, so some of that in there is his. The neighbor I like, not the trespassing neighbor. Some of that's his, but that's huge. I won't even get to that with my new saw. But I worked on that with my little Husqvarna. You can see. Bit by bit. On my days I did my bit by bit. I worked on that a little bit until it got too big. This one's been worked on. But now with this bigger chainsaw, I have all of that I can work on. Now some of it's gotten too rotted. But some of it's still real good shape. Great for firewood. So I'm going to see if I can buck some of this. I did that yesterday. Big log. Now those are so big that I'm going to have to load them up and take them to my friend's house and use her, what's it called? Wood splitter. Eventually I'll get brave enough. That's been hanging there for years. Eventually I'll get brave enough to chop that down. I originally was going to use that for like a mantle. That's a red oak, I think we decided. I'm not sure. I was going to use that for like a mantle, but that didn't happen. So, yeah. Anyway. So here I am still yammering when I could be cutting. Oh, I do want to say about the budgeting thing. Let me sit down here. I do want to say about the budgeting thing. I know under a certain income, there's no more corners to cut. I know that. I lived that for a while. For years, what felt like years, maybe it wasn't years. For a very long time, I played the $12 game. If I had $12 left to my name, like completely, no savings account, anything, $12 left to my name, when the next paycheck hit, that was awesome. And somehow it was so weird because the most it ever turned out to be, but it regularly turned out to be $12. So that was, I understand. You get to a certain point in your income and expenses, mostly your income, there's no more corners to cut. But if you are even slightly beyond playing the $12 game, there's ways that you can figure out. I hope that wind is not bothering you. There are ways to figure out how to cut things out and save. If your dream is a priority, then you can save toward it. You can work, not quickly, but you can work to make it happen. So like years ago, I figured out I love Dunkin' Donuts. You ask my kids. If we went anywhere, it was a stop at Dunkin' Donuts first. But then I figured out how to make my own iced coffee. And I figured out, and this was years ago, like in my opinion, the economy is way worse now. But years ago, I figured out how much that 5 days a week Dunkin' Donut coffees and donut stop cost me. And it was $1,200 if I remember right. I think it was $1,200 a year that cost me. So I learned to make iced coffee at home and cut out some of that expense. I quit going to restaurants to eat out and cut out that expense. I clearly don't get regular haircuts. I clearly don't dye my hair. I never dyed my hair very much, but I did a couple times. I got the 3-color chunky thing years ago. That's expensive. So now I only get my hair cut, clearly, like once or twice a year at the most. That saves. So if you get your hair cut at $40 a cut, and I know the haircuts charges are very different, are varied. But if you get a $40 haircut once a month, total that up. That's over $400 a year. So you can figure out ways to cut corners. And I'm not the best at being frugal. I'm not the best at couponing. I know a lot of people that are way more frugal than me. Instead of buying that new chainsaw, they would have found one on Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever, and they would have got a used chainsaw. And I'm scared of buying used things because I usually buy something that's not repairable and completely broke, except for cars. I'm good at buying used cars, for the most part. But you can find ways that fit your life to be more frugal, or to cut things out, to make food at home at scratch instead of buying DoorDash or restaurant food or whatever. So when I show things that I've purchased, I don't want people to think, oh, I can't do it, I can't live the dream because Miss Dawn has way more money than I do. Miss Dawn has a little more financial flexibility right now. I don't have kids in the home. Like I said, I think earlier in the video, they gave me kind of like a little bonus pay because I'm carrying, we're short-staffed and I'm carrying part of someone else's workload, that kind of thing. But you can find ways to pinch those pennies. I highly suggest that you watch the channels. I can't think of her name. I pop into this one woman's channel and she's doing budgeting stuff. I'll see if I can remember that and add the link below here. I highly suggest watching things like Dave Ramsey and budgeting people, and see if there's ways that you can save, cut back, or if you're young and energetic, maybe take a second job, or those. And I know in today's economy, I hesitate saying take a second job because A, I'm too old and tired to take a second job. I used to like have more than one thing going on. Not always a job, but sometimes it was my intern placement and that kind of thing. School, those kinds of things along with work. Sometimes it was 2 jobs. I can't do that nowadays. I'm way too tired to do that nowadays. But so I hesitate to say take a second job. But there are ways that you can move towards your dream financially. A lot of times not quickly. But I don't want people to get discouraged and say, I can't do it. It's not doable financially. And I know the economy is hard. Oh my gosh, the economy is so hard right now, for a lot of us. But I don't know, just rambling. I probably maybe should look up some of my old stuff and do a video on that. Like when I figured out, if I wrote down every expenditure, and that's when I figured out I was spending way too much money at Dunkin' Donuts and way too much money at restaurants. And I cut those things out. And that's what helped me, I think I already owned the land here. But I didn't think I'd be living up here until my 60s. Yeah. I should maybe look that stuff up and do a video on that stuff, but unless you're playing the $12 game, and I know how that is. I played that for a long time. Unless you are absolutely, completely paycheck to paycheck and barely making it and not, spending anything extra, there's ways to cut back or add income or be more frugal and move towards your dream. And, I just want everybody to be a little more hopeful that it can be done. It not quickly, but it can be done. Now, I bought my land in a time frame that land was really inexpensive, and I bought my land in a time frame before property values here, price tags, whatever you want to say, I don't know what you want to say, the sales went up. I'm in West Virginia. There's no way I could have ever afforded land playing the $12 game or at my income now. There's no way I could afford Maryland land. So you might have to kind of consider a lot of different options. I'm more than happy being in West Virginia. Some people, their dream is, buying in a more expensive state, or their dream is whatever at a more expensive price tag. What helped me was the flexibility, my flexibility in where I could go and what I could do. So that helped a lot. I'm just rambling. So I'm trying to say, if you're, yeah. My oldest son right now is starting to consider buying a home, but he's in a more expensive state, so that's kind of on my mind. If your dream is more expensive, then it's a little harder to get to, right? But it's doable, and I want everyone to feel hopeful in chasing their dreams and making progress. Man, I am rambling. I think I'm really avoiding cutting up these logs. I don't know. I wish I was more well-spoken, and so I could encourage more people to, don't just be hopeless. Try to figure it out, because a lot of times it's doable. Anyway, I'm going to get busy on this. Okay, I'm going to try to show you, I don't know if I can. I'm going to try to show you how this easy pull works. Normally you jerk this rope as hard as you can, which for me is not hard. So on this, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Someday I'll get a gambrel and a tripod and all that stuff. So this rope pulls out a certain length, and you can feel it. It's really very loose. But once you get to a certain spot, it kind of turns over on its own. That happened so quick and easy that I don't know if you saw that or could tell. So I'm going to do it again. You don't rip on this, so they said it's important. One of the YouTube videos or something, or the people at the store, I can't remember, somebody said it's important that you don't let people just rip at it. And so you just pull it out easy. I'm just pulling it out, and then you can feel at one point it kind of, it's kind of, like a rubber band kind of thing. Once you get to a certain point, it just kind of goes on its own. See, you can hear it, right? You can hear it doing it. While I'm sitting here catching my breath before carrying more of those up here, I'm noticing and wondering, do deer bucks rub branches in the trees? Because this tree didn't have anything fall against it recently. Now there's broke off bits down here that are without bark. But that looks like a deer rub to me, except that it's up off the ground. I'm gonna go look at it closer. This one's on the ground, and its end, it looks like it's been broke off for a little bit. But look how the bark is scraped off on the one on the ground. And then this one up in the sky, it's 5 feet high, a little over 5 foot. Whoopsie, no, whoopsie. Where'd it go? Is that a natural occurrence? Where'd it go? Because this side's not rubbed at all. The rest of these branches aren't rubbed or falling off. I have ash borers and all kinds of things up here that slippery oak, whatever. I had a slippery elm. So I have trees that end up naked like that, right? But what would cause this? Other than a deer rubbing, a buck rubbing. Oh, come on, focus. Because look at this one on the ground. It's shredded. Come on, focus. Shredded just on one side. Interesting. But here's the end. This one's been broke off for a while. Focus. There you go. Interesting. Anyway, I think I'm just stalling. Because there's a bit there on that branch that got broke off that also looks rubbed just on one side. But how would that happen in, like, before it broke off would have been in the tree, but these look like they've recently been shredded. I don't know. Is there a critter that shreds things off like that? I don't know. I do know down there by that trunk that's been hanging on by a sliver for a long time, there's a little tree down there, kind of like these. I don't know if those are autumn olives or cherries. I'm not quite sure. I don't think they're locusts. I don't see any spines. Last year there was a buck that rubbed on one side coming down the hill. Rubbed down there on that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm stalling, so I don't have to carry those on the hill. But I just noticed that, and I didn't know. I know bucks, I think I know, bucks leave their scent by chewing on branches or spitting on branches. Like, say, this end of this branch that's up in the air. And I broke that one off too. This tree is sickly. I think I know that they chew. Do they also rub? What would leave that? BFF? I don't know. What do you think about that? All you deer hunters out there, what do you think of that? Because there's that branch. Because if I'm 5 foot tall, if a buck rubbed that, how would he have rubbed that? But I don't see anything that fell on it recently. That looks like fresh peeling. Interesting. I don't know. I love this rock formation. But I'm right at the edge of right at the very edge of my lot line. Looks like a deer trail there. Of course, this is the spaghetti junction of deer trails. But it does look like a bunch of them come right down here somewhere. And who knows from here. There is this neighbor. They started cleaning their lot last year. And it was wild, all kinds of autumn olives or grapes, vines or whatever in these bushy, tangled messes. And they found what looked like a bear den. So would a bear do that up there? Because I think that they've displaced that bear, although they think that he comes back to visit. Could that be a sign of black bear? Don't know. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, shush, shush, shush. I got to get back to carrying those. This part may or may not get added to the video. That may or may not be posted because I'm brave enough to bring my truck down here. I've got, from this cut that I just did, I've got 2 wagons full. And that's hard to pull uphill. Up this hill. Round by the chicken coop. Even though Steve and Wendy put me in the most fabulous drive area, it's still quite a bit uphill. So, since I've got 2 wagons worth of what I just cut, and I don't know if I can lift those that I cut yesterday, if I can lift them or not. Those are about the size, small, a little smaller than what people put around campfires to sit on, but approaching that size. And then that one is definitely campfire sitting size. So I'm going to see if I can load these up from the wagon and those up from downhill on the truck and get myself back up here without getting stuck. I did it in the Jeep all the time. I miss my Jeep Wrangler so much. My Jeep Wrangler bopped up and down these hills. I held my breath sometimes, but like nothing. I wish I could have afforded to keep that and buy the truck, but I couldn't. So we'll see if I can load this firewood onto the truck, this firewood and that firewood at least, maybe that, onto the truck and get it up the hill without getting stuck. Here's the part where I might have to call for help. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Wish me luck. I did it. I was down there with the truck getting the wood. And I got a piece from there that I want to use as a chopping block up here. And I got the truck around and up. I don't have as much faith in the truck out here as I did the Jeep. But Steve and Wendy, these driveways, I got the truck up here to up by the chicken coop driveway. I stopped here so we don't have to listen to the dogs bark, hopefully. Steve and Wendy, this driveway system here by the chicken coop, there to under the deck, and this little bit you cleared next to the woods has been such a huge blessing. Thank you, because look what I did today. And I got it up here. I wouldn't even have attempted that without having that easier access to down there. Like, because I thought I was going to have to walk and use the wagon, but then I got brave enough to get the truck down there. So thank you. This would not have happened today without the truck being down there in the driveway you guys created for me. So, look at all this wood. It only goes back one row there, one row here, and because I got the chicken feed back there from my trip to town earlier. And frankly, this is all I have for energy on one day. But I'm going to ramble on for just a little bit more and then take care of this and get in the house. It does look like it might rain. I thought maybe later in the evening, but it's starting to feel like a little damp out here. So let me get comfortable and sit down a minute. I'm going to ramble a little bit more and then end this. And if my face is super red, that just happens. I get kind of the red mask sometimes, and ever since I hit a certain age, I didn't have the heat flashes, hot flashes like some people do, some women do at an older age, but I've always gotten super red faced, so I'm fine. Some people ask me to sit down and rest or whatever. This just happens. It looks kind of red. Anyway, some people might say, why'd you do this, Dawn? You're 59. Sometimes you have, you have kind of a health problem. You could easily have hired somebody to do this or had someone come out to do it. And to tell you the truth, I had this summer, in the spring, I don't remember. The neighbors had someone over there taking care of their yard and bucking all that wood and cleaning it up. And that young man gave me an estimate to take care of some of these smaller widow makers down in the area I was just at and cutting some of that, cleaning that up just a tiny little bit. And he quoted me $200. Took my number, had me text him at a number so he wouldn't lose it, blah, blah, blah. So he either wasn't interested or got busy or life got in the way or he didn't really want to do, I don't know. He never got in touch, which is fine because I am glad I'm out here working on it today. I've not yet learned how to really take care of the widow makers. And I had that one slanted tree that I cut. It was not attached at all, and it still stood until the wind blew it down. But I'm out here doing it myself, and some people would say, are you crazy? Why are you doing that? Just hire somebody, or just buy firewood. So, and I'm rambling about this because this is twofold. One, I think it's better for me physically and emotionally to keep busy and do this kind of stuff. And two, it goes back to that money and what you prioritize spending money on. Last year, I bought a huge amount of firewood. I can't remember if it was $300 or $400. It was supposed to be 2 cords, which is a large amount. The neighbors told me they didn't think it was 2 cords. They thought it was a cord and a half. May or may not have been, I don't know. I spent a lot of money. Now, granted, I didn't do any of this really, cutting, or I just gathered kindling to start the fires. The year before that I didn't buy such a big amount of firewood. The wood I got last year, though, was good wood. It really was. It was hardwood that burnt real good, whatever. The year before that I bought some, and the guy, he said so many things. I think financially he took advantage of me, not knowing about firewood and having just moved out here. And you know, there's a perception, I think, that people that move up here have a huge amount of money, which I don't. So I don't want to spend the money to have somebody else do it, because it's about money. It's about, you know, would I rather, that money I spent last year, it was almost basically the same amount as this chainsaw. So do I spend to have somebody do it, or do I do it myself? So it's about that money and prioritizing and what you're spending, what I'm not trying to tell you how to do it, but what I'm spending my money on, in part, hi chick, in part how I got up here. And then the emotional, physical part of it is, I feel so much better being in touch with the land, in touch with the seasons, being out here sweating and working. And I think that, yeah, there's a whole, I don't want to get into the whole, because everyone has their opinion about the political and the money making and the pharmaceuticals and the this and that, and I don't want to get into any of that. I really don't, because people get so heated about it. But for me, I'm convinced that every time I'm given most of the time I'm given a medication, it makes things worse. And if I'm out here physically sweating and moving and trying to use my puny little muscles and my weak joints and my thumbs that don't work right, I think it's better for me. And emotionally, I think it's better for me because it's bragging rights. And I don't mean bragging rights because I can look at you guys and say, I did my own firewood. What's wrong with you? There's too much of that in the world going on. I mean bragging rights to myself. In our minds, somebody that knows these statistics say it, every minute or every 5 minutes or whatever, there's thousands or hundreds, millions, thousands, whatever, negative thoughts. You're too dumb. You're too fat. You're too old. You can't do this. Why are you thinking about doing this? So all of that horrible negative thinking is, kind of gets you down. But then when I come out here, I still have the thoughts, oh my God, what are you doing? What possessed you to think you can get your old self up and down these hills and carry that firewood and run that chainsaw and not cut your foot off or get down there and stroke out and nobody will find you for a year? It's bragging rights for me to say, look, you can do it. So to battle all those negative thoughts, here's bragging rights. Look what I did today. Would it have been more fun? Maybe some people would say it's more fun to go visiting or shopping or traveling or whatever. But for me, this is more fun in a way to say, look what I did. I got up. I got out of bed. I went down here. I'm learning a new skill. I'm cutting bigger firewood than I've ever cut before. Someday I'm going to learn how to use that maul and split the bigger wood. I hope. I only split one little piece of firewood yesterday and I was so sore. But yeah, it's about so many things. I just read a book that talks about the philosophy of different cultures and the philosophies. I'll put the title here, across here, or in the description box, or the Amazon affiliate link down below or whatever. But it's a Western and it's about frontier, but it's also really thought-provoking about philosophies and how we see the world and how we see ourselves and that kind of thing. And that kind of thing is, I can't explain it ever, but it's so meaningful to me to be out here and to kind of be more attached to my land. I know more about that little section of woods now. I know more about where the rocks are. I think the rocks are right on the line. I wish they were mine, but right on the boundary line. But I like those kind of rock formations, and I know more about this woods, and I'm more in tune with it, and I'm more in tune with myself, and I feel my body more. I feel the muscle aches and I don't know. Yeah, this is going off into a little bit of weirdness, but it's all part of, if I can do it, you can do it. Not this exact thing, but whatever you want to do in life, and just find a way and keep those negative thoughts minimized as much as possible, and find those bragging rights that you can say, look, I did this, I'm proud of this. I'm not doing this for, telling yourself, I'm not doing this for, the world to see. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for my land. I'm doing this for my chickens and whatever, Well, this is really weird. I'm not high or drinking or anything, I swear. I swear. This is meant to try to be encouraging to everybody else who wants to do something big and has the negative thoughts that you think you can't do it. So today, I may have spent the money on the chainsaw, but so far this year I haven't paid for one speck of wood, or I haven't paid for anybody to come and fell my trees. My kids helped when they were here visiting in September. They helped some. When my BFF was here, he helped some. He did a little bit too. But mostly, firewood this year has been me. It's been me, and the expenditure for me has been this chainsaw. Now, I'm thankful my son gave me that little splitter. I didn't have to buy that, and that's been a huge help. But I think you can find ways to work around your budget and do what you want to do. When I was doing errands, when I was going to get the chicken feed, I passed the water truck. So a lot of people up here pay to have their garbage, and if I keep that in the clip, I think I'll keep that in the clip, in the video. I take mine to the transfer station. To me, it saves money. Now, does it save time? No, it takes me time to load my trash and drive down there. Firewood, did it save time? No, but I told you why I think it's beneficial. I'm not giving my money to somebody else, the chainsaw I paid for, but this firewood I'm doing. The water truck, I passed the water truck, so there's, some of you may be familiar with the tanker kind of trucks that come and fill your pool and that kind of thing. So a lot of people up here pay to have that guy come and fill their cisterns, and I go fetch my own. So does it take my time? It takes my time. It takes my gas money. It's not too far from here. It takes my time, gas money, and wear and tear on the truck. But like the trash, they're paying him for his gas and time. And so when I pay, not counting my gas and wear and tear on my truck, I pay, is it $14 a month $14 or $19 a month for my water. My water bill in Baltimore County was, what was it? I can't remember which place I lived in there was one place I lived in, the water bill was $50, and one place the water bill was like $70. And I can't remember. So even if we say $50, now my water bill is a little bit of gas, my time, and $14 or $19 a month, versus $50, right? So yeah, there's ways you can look at your budget. I sure hope I remember to put that one woman's budget link down below, her channel, for how she budgets things or saves money for expenditures. But there's ways to budget. You don't have to be rich to get your dream or a piece of your dream. I have 4 acres here, 4.6 or whatever, I don't know. You guys are probably saying, oh my God, Dawn doesn't know nothing. Her memory is a peanut. Yes, it is. Now I squirreled and lost track. What was I saying? Oh, land. So I have just over 4 acres here. Love it. I love the view. I love the woods. I love the slope, even though people don't understand me for loving the steep terrain. I love it. I'm tucked down here. House is a little bit away from the road. Would I rather have, like my friend does, and have, I always call hers the wrong acreage, 30 acres? 20 some? I think hers is into 30 acres. She's got a high little hill thing, and she's got a pond, and she's got a flat area for a garden, and it's unrestricted land. She can do what she wants out there. Mine has a little tiny bit of restrictions. Would I have rather had a huge acreage like that? Yeah, I would have rather. It would have been nice. It would be nice to be on a mountain road at the very, very end of it with no neighbors, no dude with the shooting range across the walking path down there, because that's a path I walk down when I feel good enough. I do the big loop and I walk. It's about 3 miles, 4 miles, I can't remember, a couple miles. However long it is, I don't feel like I can walk the loop because I don't feel well enough, and dude's got a shooting range across it. Hi, chick. I wondered how long it would take you. Hi, chick. Hi, chick. There she is, Bentley and Harper. Yes, I'd rather have 100 acres, way out by myself somewhere. I don't have that. So you kind of have to scale your dreams to what you can manage. Am I unhappy? I'm not unhappy. If this could have been, if I could have bought this whole side of the mountain or the ridge, I would have liked that. But, you know, it is what it is. So you got to kind of figure out your budget and change your dream a little bit to fit what you can do, and just keep working. Work hard, dream big, have faith, give thanks. I am so thankful for everybody that helped me get to where I am. Years ago, when my kids were little and I didn't have it was worse than the $12 days. There was a woman, a really kind woman, let me come over every weekend to do laundry at her house. Every weekend. Who wants people in their house using their laundry and the kids running wild? No, my kids didn't run wild. Our kids played together. But still, you know, some people would think that's an imposition, but she did it. She let me do my laundry there. So I am thankful for everyone along the way who helped me in whatever way, and here I am. Here I am. Stalling so I don't have to go unload the wood off this truck. I hope somewhere in my rambling that if you have a dream and you're scared you can't reach it, I hope somewhere in my rambling you found something that's helpful. So spending. This sweatshirt is from when my kids, boys, I don't know, this belonged to one of you guys a million years ago. I'm still wearing it today. Yeah, you can find ways to do it. Save money, budget, plan, work hard. You can do it. Okay, I don't know how many hours this is going to be and how much I'll include in it. I'm kind of feeling a little embarrassed because that was a whole bunch of rambling. But anyway, Steve and Wendy, thank you for the driveways. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is such a blessing. Such a blessing to get my truck down in there next to the woods. You know the area down there where he drove the tractor down there. Such a blessing because I got all this wood up here. Okay, take care everyone. See ya. Love it.